I've prepared a few slides to show you guys how accounting is treated here in the country, in Ireland. Basically, accounting is accounting everywhere in the world, despite there is particularities for countries. You have the gaps, which is the regional principles that apply. I know when I left Brazil in 2008, I still used to work with the BR gap in Brazil at that stage. I heard that in 2010 they've changed it to IFRS there as well in Brazil. I don't know after that how it was treated going forward, because I don't remember the terms, I don't know the names in Portuguese anymore. It's funny, the other day I was trying to remember how would we call P&L in Portuguese. No idea. And it's now, even though because I have Brazilian colleagues now in Hertz, so I'm having a nostalgia kind of thing, remembering all the terms and tax and everything. Well, first of all, accountant is accountant everywhere in the world. We have an ethical, we have to be ethical as our profession requires, and here it's not different, right? So we still keep our position in a level where we got the respect of other professionals. Also, we have the ACCA qualification, which put us still over everyone else in the field of. We put our respect on it. We lead with different people, different companies, business people all the time, and I've brought here a little bit of the traits in as being an accountant. So you guys doing accounting, MBA now, have you accounting background? No? You studied accounting in abroad here now? No? Just the MBA? What is business?
Business.
Oh, cool. Yeah, well, we are in the same boat. As an accountant, obviously we need to have organization, excellent organization, even though because the pace and the time, everything is, it's a how would you say that, dynamic environment that we work at. We need to have a lot of and be able to organize our work and maximize our time, our priorities. It's a field that we've assist different people, different departments. So we need to prioritize. We need to see. We have deadlines. We still have to keep up to date. So all those little things has to be organized in the time you have to work at. We know accounting is not easy, and that's why. Also, we have the role of influence the decision makers in big companies. So that's why we need also again to keep our time management on top, to be able to give the right information, to be able to give quality of our work, because it is very important. The result of our work, it's something very huge. Sometimes an analyst does not have an idea what is the result of his work, because he inputs that entry there, and he does not know that this is, for example, Hertz is a public company. A public company that has shareholders everywhere, which a little inaccuracy would cause a huge issue in the final report that goes to America. Imagine such a big risk, right? So this is the importance of it. If we know the track, we know the path, we are able to provide a service with quality, which involves to be able to be organized and time managed. Right. Now, attention to details comes again to the same point. We are dealing with numbers, and sometimes I joke about, I forget that I work to the rental car company, because I'm sitting down in front of a spreadsheet all day, seeing formulas and numbers that I don't realize. If we are selling chocolates, for me it would be the same, until I get stuck in one case and I have to investigate in details a particular rental. Then I go through receivables system to find a rental that happened in Italy, where a client took the car in Rome and delivered in Paris. Then, okay, there we are in a rental car company though. Until a part of it, my work is purely figure, numbers, formulas, risk. So that's what I mean. If we don't pay attention to details, we are liable to fall into little accounting. It's very tricky, because it has to balance, but not simply like that. It follows certain constitution laws, and if we don't get into that little detail, we can miss everything else, and it goes to the result, to the end. Everything's wrong, and then reinstatement, which cause a huge kind of cost to a company. Anyways, the disaster is huge. So it requires us to be qualified and have those abilities to exercise our work. Anyways, in the being accurate is something very important. So that's why we also have all the degrees into the company for us to review each other's work, all this kind of thing. I've seen myself as an auditor in Brazil. No, I will talk about it later in the next slides. Focus on the client, on customer, on the client. An accountant not only dealing with the numbers, but also deal with people. Not only external clients, but internally as well, which is the case now for me that works in a company. When I used to work in the practice, in the office, then when I had to deal with revenue by phone or with the customer itself, the client straight to the client. Now I work internally, but my clients are internally. So I am in an apartment where I need to assist the receivables, the AP, sales team, everybody finishes there in the accounting. So this treatment also with the client, it needs to be taken into consideration. So not being an accountant is not just put yourself in front of your computer, lock yourself and stay there. No, you have also to have the ability to talk to people and then communicate. Good communication. That's one of the challenges I have at the beginning, because how without a good English I could be able to deal with people and with the bodies, government, etc. That was one of the challenges. Right. The other thing is think out of the box. I think for everything nowadays, every profession requires us not to be only stuck on that thing, but bring creativity, bring new ideas, move everything that is already there, make it better, improve systems, improve process. And this is something that big companies requires that we have to deliver, right? In the commitment, focus on industry. Focus on industry is to be up to date with the economy flowing, for example, with the changes that are happening around the world about microeconomy, what's going on, because accountants are the ones, I can't imagine. When you think about imagine, I'm you guys seeing myself, and if you don't see myself, and you say, what is your profession? I'm an accountant. You would never imagine I would be a woman, a modern woman, no, I would be an old man, you know what I mean? Surrounded of papers, because that's what accountant figure is. And that has to be changed. It's changing nowadays. You can't be again that man, 60 years old, doing the same spreadsheet, and then, you know, you can't. You have to be updated. You have to follow the world nowadays. And also the markets, the HR departments, they require such thing. They need to people to be dedicated to the job, to the company. Here in Ireland, I will bring it now to the reality here. It's not been difficult to find a job as an accountant. I'm not talking about a range of salary, but it still has field for it, because the rotation is very huge, because the companies want people thinking out of the box, or because people see other opportunities, and they also want companies that think out of the box. There are requirements for every kind of, I would say. Again, now, trustworthiness comes back to what I was saying about being dedicated and has the ethical of our profession. The trustworthiness, this is thing that we learn in college for our profession, and ACCA also mentioned that. We have the ethical of our profession by being confidential with all the data we've come across. Everything in the company has to be confidential. You know, you have to be trust to the managers and then to the company. You know, this is kind of a part of our ethical commitment. The communication to the departments, I said, our clients are internal. We communicate with them all the time. It needs to be into our abilities as well within the team, because nowadays we work with team. We rely on each other. We don't do anything on our own. And also, again, the communication, response to the challenge, embrace all of your work, deliver a quality service. It involves everything here. That's, I think, everywhere in the world, not just in Ireland, but just so you know, here also would require us. We could maybe hear that, in the other countries easier, no, it's not. It's again the same thing. We have to provide and prove that we are in the game, right? Basically.